claustrophobic mind, and I am not the vagrant kind. Baby, I just wanna take you home, to lose the grip and make it on your own. Lady, you got a claustrophobic mind, and I am not the vagrant kind. Not the vagrant kind.
Yeah, acknowledge me. Acknowledge me. That's what I'm saying now. Big up. Big up, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. Appreciate it. As always, guys, don't forget to hit that likes on the way in, guys. I'd appreciate it. Get yourselves in the live comments as well. Start getting chatty in the comments as well, guys. Let's have a good little show here. Yeah. I do, so you know. Yeah. Yeah, so big up everyone here. Thank you very much for joining. Acknowledge, you know. Right, it's coming up that mad time of year when we have to talk about transfers. Yeah, we're coming up to January. Transfer season is upon us. You know, Christmas is obviously a beautiful time of year, but for football fans, it's January the 1st and the transfer window. And that's what's coming up now. Liverpool been linked with players. Look, Liverpool going to be linked with every player that's pretty decent to world class from now till the 1st of January. And probably 99% of them are going to be utter garbage. But because it's fun, I'm going to talk about it and talk about rumours anyway, because why not? What else are we going to talk about? But there is a couple of transfers that are gaining a lot of attention and are transfers that I can see Liverpool doing. The transfers I can see us doing. Yeah, especially with certain people's contracts running down as well. So yeah, we're going to chat about that as well. We're going to have a good one, man. We're going to have a good one. Jamie, you're the fifth man. You never know. I do know the fifth man is going to be. It's obviously going to be CM Punk. But yeah, you never know. All of a sudden, Cherki's the next big thing. Look, let's talk about Cherki first, yeah. Let's talk about Cherki first. So, look, I'm not big on players around the world, players in Europe, etc., etc. You guys usually let me know about the players in around Europe and stuff like that. I pretty much just watch the Premier League this day and age. You know, I'm not watching a lot of other European football. I don't know what's the matter with my eye. It is. I don't watch a lot of European football these days. I watch Champions League games when they're on and stuff like that, but I pretty much keep myself to the Premier League. So Rayan Cherki's coming up. His name's coming up. I had to do a bit of research on the guy. But I think he's 21 years of age. The bits I have gone and watched of him, he seems extremely technical. He seems like one of them technical ballers like a Tarat or a Payet. You know, he seems like that kind of footballer to me, which is a footballer I always thought Liverpool wouldn't look at. It's a player that I always thought Liverpool wouldn't really take much steed in because Liverpool like players with a lot of end product. And if you look at, if you look at him, he hasn't got a ton of end product in his career so far as Rayan Cherki. He's a talented footballer by the looks of it. Got great first touch, great control, great dribble, great sense of balance, can go left and right. So when you're looking at that, he looks like an actual baller. You know, he looks like a good footballer. But end product wise, he doesn't look like he's got that in his game. Now, here's my problem with end product stuff. Big up John Conway. Here's my big Cherki. Jesus. Here's my problem with the end product stuff on football today. Like, when we went to sign Darwin Núñez, on a season that he scored 32 or 34 goals for Benfica. He scored 32 or 34 goals for Benfica. We thought we were getting our number 9 for the next few years. We bought that finisher at last. The finisher we were desperately looking for. We went and got him. And it turns out, he couldn't finish a hot school dinner. It's always baffling to me how players sometimes go from not being this GA merchant, going to his new club and being that GA merchant, or being a goals man at a certain club, going to another club and not being a goals man. Look, if you look at Mohamed Salah, yes, Mohamed Salah has scored goals at other clubs like Fiorentina and Roma, but not to the level he did at Liverpool. Like at Roma, I think he got 20 something GA the year we bought him. I think he got 14 goals for Roma that season in all competitions, which is very good for a winger. Don't get me wrong. Comes to Liverpool, he scores 44 goals in all competitions. So no one saw that coming. No one saw that GA that Mo Salah would produce at Liverpool in his first season of 44 goals. And there's other players like Jota at Wolves. He comes to Liverpool, he looks like a goalsman. At Wolves, he was a decent player, but mostly he was on the bench, and an impact player. And then at Liverpool, he broke up the traditional front three, took sort of Bobby's place, started banging goals. And his goal-to-game ratio is actually really good. So the GA part of things doesn't always transcend from either one team to another team or one league to another league. Like you could be a bagsman at Brentford with like the players they got, or Wissa and all that. Would Wissa really get 20 goals a season at Liverpool? I doubt it, because the level up, he'd have to go a level up. Would Mbeumo get the goals that he's getting at Brentford at Liverpool? Probably not, because he's not going to play as many games. So the GA will go down a lot. So that stuff, it's good to look at, but I don't think it's the main thing we always should be looking at, because you can get burnt. You can totally and utterly get burnt. You can go and buy a certain player as a bagsman, comes to your club, and he's no longer a bagsman. Or you can get a player that weren't a bagsman. You're like, why are we getting him? He comes to your club, and then he's your 5th all-time goal scorer in Mo Salah. This is this is where you're looking at. So, but with Cherki, I don't know how you pronounce his name. He's got good value for a good player. I will say that. If you look at the transfer market right now, there's a lot of very average players that are extremely overpriced. If Rayan Cherki's price is to be believed is £25 million, and that's British pound, what Lyon are asking for a player of his qualities, £25 million is probably good business. It's probably decent business. And there's other players out there that cost a lot more, and are they actually that much better? I always look at it. I look at transfers maybe different to some of you guys. I look at transfer market a lot different. I'm not always looking for let's go and bag the most expensive players we can get, because they might not work. Like, I know a lot of you guys in the chat have already been talking about Wirtz at Bayer Leverkusen, yeah? I don't think Wirtz is all that. Maybe it's just me. I think he's a good player. I just don't think he's top end. I really don't think he's the top end of the market at 100 million quid. I really don't. 100 million quid for Wirtz is mad. It's just stupid. I don't think he's that end of quality. I don't think he's top end of quality. I didn't think Jude Bellingham at 100 million quid is top end of quality either. They're just overpriced. And yeah, I'm not the biggest. I think Wirtz is a good player, but I have seen him play a few games now. I will say this, I have watched him a few times now where he goes completely missing in games. a lot of the time. Doesn't do enough for my liking. And if you're going 100 million quid, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. It really is. It's the top end. And you've got to make sure if you're paying that sort of money, you are getting a top end player. And I just don't think players like Wirtz are, people going to kill me. I know people going to click this out and go, James Phillips don't like Wirtz. Look at him do things at Bayer Leverkusen last year. Yeah, he was good. He was good. Don't mean he's going to be like that every year. And I see parts of his game where I just don't think he's involved enough. I'm going to go with another one now. This might shock people as well. I look at Barella at Inter Milan. I think I watch Barella a lot because I've been watching Italian games now. I'm doing Italian games on my Big Up channel. So if no one's subscribed to my Big Up channel, go to subscribe to my Big Up channel. Go to bigup.com and then go and find Jamie Phillips Football Chats on bigup.com. And you'll see my channel over there. I'm going to be doing Italian games every weekend till the end of the season now, watching a lot of Italian football. And I've been watching a lot of Italian football this season. And Barella is a quality footballer. There's no doubt about this. Yeah, I'm not going to say he's a dead baller. He's a quality footballer, right? But for a 90-minute game, he doesn't do enough. He really don't. I know it's very fashionable to go, like the it thing to do is just go, Wirtz is a baller, Barella's a baller, just buy these players. But in reality, when you actually sit there and watch them, are they involved enough in a 90-minute game? Do they go missing enough? I watched quite a lot of Inter Milan lately. And when I watch Inter Milan, the commentator barely mentions Barella's name because he's not involved in games of football enough. And I want players at that highest end, the highest end of football. Like you're talking the 100 million. When you're talking about 3 figures for a transfer deal, when you're talking about 3 figures for a transfer deal, I need a player that is worth that money. Like Barella for me is a good footballer. He's a top draw player. But at times he ghosts a lot of games. He ghosts a lot of games and then he can have, and obviously because he has ability and his quality, he has special moments, yeah? He has special moments. But he ghosts a lot of games. People don't want to hear that, though. Because they're tremendous footballers, people don't want to hear, he ghosts games, he ghosts games. He just does. So does Wirtz. They ghost a lot of games, and yeah, and they're the top end of the market. So people like Mbermo, yeah, although I big up Russell, who's a big Mbermo fan, yeah. Mbermo's banging in goals for Brentford, yeah. He's involved in a lot of their play. He's involved in a lot of things they do, right? Just me, not everyone, I'm not going to speak for everybody, just me on my own. I would rather go and buy Mbermo than Barella. Now, you guys can call me mad. I can get clipped up, Jamie, but if you think about it and make it make sense, Mbermo will probably get me more goals. He'll be involved in more of the action, more of the play. And he'll cause the opposition for me more trouble than a Barella would. That's how I look at it. And I look at Burmo's 50 million. I'd rather spend 50 million on Brian Burmo than 50 million on Nico Barella. Look, it's just my opinion. Like that's the way I look at football. I'm just giving you my way of how I look at football, guys. I'm not telling you guys that's how you should look at football or anything like that. It's just the way I look at football personally, and how I would do transfer business, and how I'm always like as well. I think too many players. Big up everyone in the chat, by the way. Much love for you being here this afternoon. I think there's too many players that have really good PR, but are really not that good. I think there's too many players out there who've got tremendous PR, but actually are not that great as a player. I think there's quite a lot of them, There's quite a lot of them, but they always get big clubs. They always get big moves because if you're an owner and you see a certain player with amazing PR, you're always likely to go for that player more than the player that's probably got no PR, but is technically a better footballer. And that player will get missed out, and the player with the PR will always get bought because it looks better for the football club. It looks better for the football club. You know, you're definitely clip though. And this is what I'm saying. This is my way of looking at football. It's not everyone's way of looking at football, and I understand it. I look at football a little bit differently, guys. I really do. I always believe that there's tremendous football talent out there that might not have a big name, that might not have the PR machine behind them, but they're extremely talented footballers that if you go and buy them for a good price, they suit the way you play, they suit the manager's what he wants to do, you can get good things out of them. You can get good things out of them. And then you could go on and win things as well. You know, it's just the way I look at football at times. I don't always look at football thinking, right, we'll get that name, and that name, get them all in our team, all of a sudden we're going to win everything. I don't always think that's the case. I don't always think that is the case at the time. If you look at Manchester City, yeah? If you look at Manchester City, when Pep Guardiola bought his players, they weren't always the big names. They became the big names at Manchester City because Pep Guardiola's coaching. The same with Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp. You know, Jordan Henderson, Gini Wijnaldum, Fabinho, Oxlade-Chamberlain, James Milner, Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, Bobby Firmino. At the time when we buy these players, they're not huge names. They haven't got the PR against them. A lot of people are like, what are Liverpool buying Salah for when they got Mane plays right wing for Liverpool? So why are they going after Mohamed Salah? You got Coutinho there, so he plays on the left. You know, and when you bring them to your football club and they do what they do, and you bring them in for really good prices, you put them on a decent wage, nothing's a financial risk, and you see the development in their talent and the way they play for the manager and suit the system, and then they become household names. And then they become household names, and then you can give them the PR that they deserve. That's sort of like the way I look at it. That's just the way. That's just the way I look at. I look at football. Yeah, that's the way I look at football. So let's take Curtis Jones. Let's take Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones. Well, I'm definitely getting clipped up for this. You guys in the chat might know what I mean by this and understand what I mean by this. Curtis Jones is technically a better footballer than Jude Bellingham. Right, go at me, but I'm telling you the truth. Curtis Jones is technically a better footballer than Jude Bellingham. We got Frankie Man in the chat. How you doing, man? How you doing? Oh, people agree. Okay. People agree. Big up to you guys. I thought you'd all go come at me then. But where Jude Bellingham's better is that I think Jude Bellingham is more clutch. Jude Bellingham, I think, has got a tremendous football IQ, and his all-round game might be a little bit better. Do you know what I mean? His all-round game might be a little bit better. But if you watch that England game the other day, when Curtis Jones actually made his England debut, what he was doing on the pitch, the way he was moving the ball, the way he kept the ball under the press, his goal that he scored, his little 1-2s that he plays. Bellingham can't do that, but Bellingham can do the other stuff around it, like the power and pace, the clutch moments, and the footballing IQ. Yeah, but Jude Bellingham's £100 million, and if you sold Curtis Jones tomorrow, you're probably getting £30 million. Do you see what I mean about the way the transfer market is so It all depends on PR. It really does. It all depends on PR. Like, and look at Kante, yeah? He was at a second division French team. No one was looking at him. He was at a second division French team when Leicester went and bought him. But Leicester saw quality in him. They got him for, what was it, £1 million or something stupid like that? £500,000, no money. Brought him to Leicester. In his first season at Leicester, we looked at him and went, shit, that might be the best DM in world football. Because he had no PR next to him. No one spoke about Conte as a young kid in France. No one gave him that push, yeah? Because he wasn't the sexy player, you know, so he didn't have that PR against him. And then you look at it, like, there's players out there, guys, in this world, in Europe right now, that Liverpool can go and get that makes our team better, man. Mahrez, look how good Mahrez was. Big up Russell. What are they getting for a couple of £1 million or something like that? One of the best wingers in Premier League history. Look how technical and great he was. This is what I keep saying. There's players that have got massive PR that will cost you the earth to buy, but are they technically better than some players that you can go and find for 15 to 20 to 30 million quid? Probably not. Probably not. And this is where I get to Rayan Cherki, yeah? So the transfer for Rayan Cherki right now is £25 million, yeah? That's what they're asking. Now, I'm going to ask you guys in the chat one thing right now. If Rayan Cherki came to Liverpool, and I think he'd play the number 10, I don't see him as a wide player for Liverpool. I think he'd play that central position for Liverpool in that number 10. Who do you think is technically a better footballer in that number 10 position? Let me know in the chat, guys. Rayan Cherki or Dominic Szoboszlai? Who do you guys think would be a better number 10 technically in that area of the pitch? Rayan Cherki or Dominic Szoboszlai? Give me a name. Suppose you like Cherki. And Cherki's 25 million, yeah? Cherki's 25 million. How much did we buy Dominic Szoboszlai for? Did he have a £60 million release clause? Right? And we don't know what to do with him. Like, to this day, almost 2 years on, we still don't know what to do for the best with Dominic Szoboszlai, who cost us 60 million quid. Because Dominic Szoboszlai had a bit of PR when he was in Germany. You know, in Austria, people were talking about him. You know, he had a bit of a name, a bit of a following, so he had to pay the price. Would Rayan Cherki be a better... And Rayan Cherki's only a year younger than Dominic Szoboszlai, only 21, Dominic Szoboszlai 22. There's like a year in it. So Rayan Cherki for 25 million, would he actually be that bad of a transfer deal? Would he be that much? Would he be that bad of a transfer deal, guys, for 25 million quid? Would he actually give us a little bit more in advanced areas of the pitch? Suppose I was 23, big up. Would he give us that? Would he give us more in that advanced area of the pitch where he may be able to hold on to the ball better? He may be able to give a better pass into the final third than Dominic Szoboszlai can right now. And you're buying him for a lot less than Dominic Szoboszlai was. And this is the issue. And this is the issue. And I keep saying this with Dominic Szoboszlai as well. I said this the day we bought him. Dominic Szoboszlai is a wide footballer. He's a winger. Yeah, that's where he plays his best football. For Hungary the other night, he played left wing and he looked great. That's where Dominic Szoboszlai plays. But because of his... When you look at Dominic Szoboszlai and you look at some of the stuff he does well off the ball, you could easily play him in central midfield. And that is why Klopp played him in central midfield as a box-to-box midfielder. That's why Arne Slot's playing him in the attacking midfield area right now. Because the attributes of Dominic Szoboszlai can play in that midfield area. But in reality, he should be playing in more of a wide, inverted wide position. And I've always said this. Everyone used to slag me off about it. Everyone. I said this on my show. I said this on Monty's show. I said this on Gopish. People used to come at me in the chat. He's not a wide player, Jamie. Now everyone realises, yeah, he's probably more of an inside wide player than he is a central player. It's always been the case. We misprofiled him. I always feel like we misprofiled Dominic Szoboszlai when we bought him. We misprofiled him. We paid £60 million for a guy that we didn't know what to do with. Now, I ask you guys in the chat, is that good transfer sense? Is that clever transfer business? To buy a player that you're not quite sure what to do with? You know, it's not quite right, is it? It don't make quite enough sense for me. You know, and when you got someone like Rayan Cherki, who's 21, sorry, for 25 million, it's pretty obvious where to play him. Yeah. You could play him in the 10 quite comfortably, and you can play him right wing. They're Rayan Cherki's two positions. Right wing on the number 10. Technically a very good footballer. He's got a good passing range. He's got a lovely pass. He's got a lovely weight of balance. He can go left and right. He's got a good dribble. You know, he's got a beautiful first touch. Yes, the goals are not there for him at this moment in time, but he is only 21 years of age. This is something we've got to remember. He's only 21. The goals are not there yet, but they could become better. But everything about his game, for me, is better than Dominic Szoboszlai's game right now on a technical standpoint. Now, what Dominic Szoboszlai has over Rayan Cherki is that Dominic Szoboszlai's got a far better work rate. And again, I haven't watched a lot of Cherki, so I can't comment on everything. He might be better in what I feel he is. But with Dominic Szoboszlai, what we can all say is, no matter how shit he is at the moment, on the ball, how bad he is on the ball right now, we can't dismiss how good his work rate is for the whole team. So that's a tick there. And I'm not sure about it with Rayan Cherki. He might be one of them players that is more of a luxury player, and you're not going to get that work rate out of him. I'm not sure. It could turn out. Look, he might not even come to Liverpool. Liverpool might not be in for him. All this might be garbage, as I keep saying. But if Liverpool were to buy him, I don't know. His work rate could improve under. I don't know. But it's when I look at transfer guys. And also, there's a player at Liverpool that we've already got in Harvey Elliott as well. I think Harvey Elliott is a player I think Liverpool, not a lot of Liverpool fans like for some reason. I don't get it. I know a lot of Liverpool fans wouldn't mind Harvey Elliott getting sold. And I'm like, why? Why do you want Harvey Elliott getting sold? What is Harvey Elliott not good at? What is Harvey Elliott not good at? Who do you want to go and buy that's going to be so much better than Harvey Elliott? He's a young kid, man. You know, he's a young kid who he's had a couple of bad injuries. You know, he's broke his ankle and he fractured his ankle. He's done both ankles now at a young age. But technically on the ball, Harvey Elliott's a very good player. I think we can all agree with that. You know, get Harvey Elliott on the ball. Technically, he can move the ball. He's got a good way to pass. He's got a good first touch. He likes playing in give and goes. He can play well in that nice little triangle, you know, with Trent and Salah. You know, he's a very cultured player. Look, what goes against Harvey Elliott is probably his size. He's not the most imposing player physically, from a physical standpoint. And he hasn't got the greatest pace in the world. But do you always need that size and pace if you're a clever footballer? Like David Silva for Man City, arguably Man City's greatest ever player. It's a big argument to put there. One of my favourite ever players to watch in the Premier League era. I wouldn't ever say he had that physicality and size and pace, but he was he was a football genius, so he didn't need it. You know, I wouldn't be rushing Harvey Elliott out the door, guys. I really wouldn't. I think Harvey Elliott's got a lot to prove, and he's got a lot of technical ability, and that technical ability could bring good things at Liverpool Football Club under Arne Slot, who wants to play a more technical game. Now, work rate wise, Harvey, yes, he gets around the pitch and he works hard. Defensively, though, he's not the best. We've seen that with Harvey. Defensively, he's not clued on enough. So that's why you got to play him in that more advanced area in the 10. So there's another player. And as I keep saying, for me, Dominic Szoboszlai was misprofiled. He should be a wide player. Then you got Dominic Szoboszlai as Harvey Elliott's your 10. If you buy Rayan Cherki, you got him as your 10. You got Szoboszlai as an extra wide player. Things can move around. But that's the way I look at transfers, guys. This is the way I look at transfers. And I might be wrong. I might be talking out my arse. But I don't know about you. It's the way I look at things. You know, you got to go and get me a player that's better than a player I got. Otherwise, what's the point of buying a player? That's how I look at it, guys. I don't want us to buy a player just to fill a gap in the squad. There's no point buying that player. What is the point of buying a body? Like people go, you got to get a midfielder in this January. Right, get a midfielder in this January that's got quality and better than what we got. Do that, and I'm with you. Don't go and get me a midfielder that's just going to fill up a spot because everyone wanted a body in midfield. That ain't actually going to improve our side and make us better. I'm all for buying a midfielder. I want us to buy a midfielder. You know, I badly want us to buy a midfielder desperately, yeah. But get me a midfielder this January that's better than what we got. Otherwise, don't buy one. Because you're wasting money. Because what happens there, you're just buying a player that's not really good enough. It's not taking you to the next level. So then you got to it really puts you backwards. This is what people don't get. If you buy the wrong player and you just buy a player for the sake of buying a player, and this is what I've been angry at Liverpool about for the last couple of years. They've done their transfers completely wrong. You know, the club has been lazy. The last manager was lazy. The last sporting director was lazy. You know, transfers have not been great the last few years. Because when you buy players that don't fit your team and you're just buying a player for the sake of buying a player, it can actually take you backwards more than it can take you forwards. Because then you've got to get rid of that player, get another player in, and you want to really move on to fill in other parts of your team, but you can't because you've got to get rid of that, bring another one in. It can be a detriment on your side. It really can. Transfers are not always a success. I think most transfers at football teams are more of a failure than they are a success at the time. I really do. That, like, if you look at Liverpool's transfer records the last 10 years, I think Liverpool would have a lot more successes than they've had failures in the transfer market because of the way we do business, the way we buy players. Look, I know we're down on transfers at the moment, guys, and we're down on us not spending money and all that. But it's only like 3 years ago when all the rivals was talking about, I don't know how Liverpool do it. How did Liverpool buy this player, that player, that player? Where do they find them from? What system, what data system are Liverpool using that we're not? And now all teams in the Premier League are copying our data system on buying players and waiting for the right players, doing this business, that business. So, yeah, we're not happy with the money we're not spending at the moment. But teams do get a bit like, how can you do that? How can you do it? Like, it's just the last few years it's gone to shit. And I've been saying this. I'll hold my hands up. I've said that the last few years our transfers not been good enough. They just haven't. Like, we bought Alexis McAllister to play him as a DM. Do you know how shit that is? Like, it don't make sense. What's the point of buying him? You buy Ryan Gravenberch, you don't know where to play him till Arne Slot comes along and plays him where he should play. What's the point of buying him? You buy Dominic Szoboszlai and you completely misprofile him And now we've got 2 managers who don't know what to do with him. You buy Cody Gakpo. I like Cody Gakpo, don't get me wrong, but if he got sold tomorrow, I wouldn't really be crying about it. We bought Cody Gakpo in the January when we was crying out for a midfielder. Scandalous. Absolutely scandalous. We were crying out for a midfielder that January. Everyone here will remember. Crying out for a midfielder. And then we spent 40 million on Cody Gakpo. Didn't really need 40 million Cody Gakpo. Can't get me a 40 million midfielder. You know, big up Sadiq in the house. How you doing? Well, guest referee. Big up to you, man, as well. Big up Nicholas in chat. Big up Tony in the chat as well. How you doing? Well, man. Double A, Ali in the chat as well. Russell, big up to you guys. It's been dog turd a little bit at times. We bought, like, when you buy Szoboszlai and you profile him in a particular way, and you make him do what Jordan Henderson did the year before, which is basically a right-sided box-to-box player to protect Trent when he inverts. It's just madness to me. It's just madness to me. And now Slot sort of don't know what to do with him either. I'm not going to sit here and say Slot's doing a great job with him. He's playing more of an attacking midfielder. He's pushed him forward a little bit more, where he should be able to show more of his best skills. I mean, that's all we were talking about Szoboszlai last season, guys. Push him up further, get him further up the field, because he can shoot, he can dribble, he can do all this. And now Slot's letting him do that. He's pushed him up the field. And he's still not doing what he should be doing. So I wonder why, if this is why Liverpool are looking at someone like Rayan Cherki. Because I've seen a lot of people on Twitter, like, why are we after Rayan Cherki? We got Dominic Szoboszlai and Harvey Elliott who can play in that position. You've got Curtis Jones who can play that position. We've got 6 forwards. So are we really going to bring him in and make a 7th forward? It sort of don't make sense. And I'm like with a lot of people, it don't make sense, because if Slot believes in Harvey Elliott, if Slot believes in Dominic Szoboszlai, if Slot believes in Curtis Jones, then buying Rayan Cherki to play the 10 position don't make sense. It's like a waste of money. Then in the wide areas, you got 6 forwards. Now, this is where they might be looking. Now, if rumours are to be true, in the summer just gone, Liverpool were looking at Chiesa and Rayan Cherki for the right wing position. They decided to buy Chiesa instead of Cherki, right? Now, I love the signing of Chiesa because I think Chiesa's a fabulous footballer. We didn't know at the time that Chiesa didn't have a pre-season with Juventus. Thiago Motta at Juventus completely froze Chiesa out. So Chiesa didn't have a pre-season at Juventus. He had no football at all in that summer. He came to Liverpool after pre-season. So he literally never had a pre-season, yeah? And now he's struggling for his fitness, right? I do believe, though, if Chiesa can find his fitness, Chiesa will be extremely good. Chiesa played well at the Euros this summer as well, don't forget. It's not like he was a dead baller. He's a very good player. If he can find his fitness, Chiesa will be a huge impact player for us for the rest of this season, no doubt about it. It'd be a great option off the bench. Chiesa would be a tremendous option off the bench if he can find his fitness. But that's what it's all about. It's about, can he find his fitness? And Liverpool might be looking at it, and there's a lot of rumours going around right now that Liverpool are looking to let Chiesa go back to Italy on loan till the end of the season just to build up his fitness and then come back in the summer. What am I complaining about? I ain't complaining about anything. I'm not complaining about a thing. I'm talking about transfers, DL. I'm not complaining about the team at all. I'm talking about transfers. Maybe you just came in, DL, just a little late. I'm not moaning about the club at all. I'm talking about transfers now. I look at transfers. Unless the club are thinking to let Chiesa go back on loan to Italy to get his fitness again, and then come back in the summer and have a pre-season with Liverpool next summer, and then they think he'd be back to it. That's cool. And then in that meantime, they go buy another player in, they go and buy another player to come in Rayan Cherki, then I could understand it. It makes sense. Unless, look, and there's the other thing. We've heard Slot talk about Dominic Szoboszlai this season, haven't we? He's mentioned it in the press conference where he wants Dominic Szoboszlai maybe to get more goals and assists in the position that he plays. He plays in the number 10 for Liverpool. He does play further up. And I think he's made mention of it, that he'd like Dominic with his qualities, maybe to get more goals and assists. And we've noticed in the last 3 games as well that Dominic's not really starting. He's dropping him out a little bit. Curtis is playing now. Diaz played there for a game. And Szoboszlai's getting substituted a lot. It looks like he's not quite 100% happy with Dominic Szoboszlai right now. And Curtis Jones has come to that position now. And it's basically Curtis Jones's position to lose, if you ask me. That's his position. So maybe things have moved on since the summer. And Slot's looked at it and gone, I'm all right in my DM right now in Gravenberch. I've got Gakpo. I've got McAllister there as well. I've got Curtis Jones who can fill in there as well. I've got Endo as well. I've got Tyler Morton. So maybe he's feeling at this moment in time, that's not the priority for me. The priority is a little further up. That 10 area is just not quite working for me right now. Because we've got to remember, Slot likes to keep possession of the football. He likes to have more possession than the opposition. He likes to keep the ball. Now, the one good thing I've noticed of Rayan Cherki is that because he's got a great first touch, very press resistant, he can play with his back to goal. He keep the ball very well. Maybe he's thinking someone like Rayan Cherki will help me keep possession further up the pitch. I think he feels like he can keep possession further up the pitch, which helps him build up play. And then my number 10 can keep that possession a little bit better, can put it out to the wide men, can play into the number 9, can play off the number 9, make runs into the box and keep that possession further up the field. Maybe he's thinking that as well. I'm not sure. Maybe all these transfers are absolute bollocks and he's absolutely happy. Again, this is all hearsay at the moment. We won't know anything till the 1st of January, till the 31st of January. But at this moment, it could be all hearsay and absolute horseshit. But why it's news, we're going to talk about it and try and come to some kind of understanding why we're looking at these players. Why we look at Rayan Cherki? Why are we looking at Mamouche? The Egyptian wonder kid at the moment. Well, he ain't a kid. He's like 24. But playing for Frankfurt this season, scoring bags of goals. All of a sudden, his name is now doing the circulation. No one was talking about Mamouche last season. Not a single person was talking about Mamouche last season. I don't remember even anyone mentioning his name last season. This season, he started like a house on fire. He's getting a lot of accolades right now. People are talking about him. One of the most informed forwards in Europe right now. And there's a lot of people talking about him. And I think we're looking at a number 9. I honestly do. I don't know about you guys in the chat. I don't think Slot is completely convinced about Darwin Núñez. And I think Jota's injuries are starting to play a bit of an issue with him. I think if he was going to pick his number 9, if he could play a number 9 all season, injury-free, I think Slot would probably play Jota more than Darwin. If Jota was fit all season, I think Jota probably plays most of the games. He'll probably get substituted and come in and out in game for Darwin a lot. but I do think Jota would play most of the games. But let's face it, Darwin and Jota are not exactly making the most of their opportunities right now, are they? And this is not a diss on Darwin. I know the Darwin sexuals will come out now and come out with their hammers and knives, go, oh, you can't talk bad about Darwin. Like, it's impossible. I'm not talking bad about him. I just don't think Darwin's done enough. I don't think Darwin's done enough to get in, to go, this is my position now. You know, I just don't think he's done enough. I don't know about you guys in the chat, let me know, but I think this is why we're probably don't call us Darwin things. I just don't think he's done enough at this moment in time to keep that number 9 shirt right now. I just don't think he has. And with Jota, I think the same with Jota as well. I think I think Jota and Darwin are both up to scrutiny. I think you could both. I could see a world where we let both of them go in the summer. I think both of them could easily go this summer, and maybe that's why we're looking for a number 9. Maybe that's why we're looking for a number 9. And my thing with Darwin all the time, yeah. This is my this is my thing with Darwin Núñez, yeah. Darwin Núñez was bought for a lot of money, yeah. He was bought for a lot of money. You know, if you know, his complete transfer fee is 85 million quid, right? So a lot of money, yeah. You only pay up to that kind of money for a start striker. Darwin Núñez should not be a rotational striker. He shouldn't be. You don't pay that much money for Darwin Núñez for him to be a rotational striker. I think we can all agree with that. He should be the number 1 striker on the team list. No one should be coming close to him, yeah? Now, again, that ain't Darwin's fault. No, Darwin didn't tell everybody this is how much I should be worth. It's not Darwin Núñez's fault, yeah, that Liverpool was stupid enough to pay close to 85 million for his total transfer fee to Benfica. That's not Darwin Núñez's fault at all, right? But when you're paying that money for a striker, he should be your number 1 striker. He should not be rotational. He just shouldn't be. Jota shouldn't be taking his place. Jota shouldn't be. Jota, in my opinion, is not an out-and-out striker. I don't think Jota's an out-and-out striker. Jota can play in the left wing. Jota can play in the 10. I don't believe Jota's an out-and-out number 9, right? Jota shouldn't be taking your spot. I just don't think. I think both of their positions are up for debate till the end of the season, and it's up to Darwin and Jota to go, I'm the number 1 guy around here. You're not taking my spot, and I'm not being sold. And it's up to them. No one else can make them. As much as there's fans of Darwin Núñez, as much as there's fans of Diogo Jota, it is literally up to Jota and Darwin Núñez to go, put their hand up and go, look, I'm the main guy here. I don't care what anyone says, and I'm doing business. At this moment in time, neither of them for me are doing enough right now for Arne Slot not to wield the axe come the end of the season and go, I don't need either of you. And that is why we're probably looking at another number 9 right now. That's probably why we're looking at another number 9 right now, because he's probably looking at more of a. I don't think would we be looking for another number 9 right now if Jota and Darwin were doing their thing? Let's put it that way. Yeah, would we be looking for another striker if Darwin and Jota were doing their thing? I don't think we would, because you've got 2 number 9s there. Why would you? You don't need a third. You don't need a third. Look, the way I look at it, I think Darwin stay. I think if I don't know if you can get rid of both of them because that's a lot of player leaving your football club. I think Darwin probably stays another year, and it's Jota that leaves in the summer. I don't know about you guys. Let me know what you guys think. I do feel like Jota might be the one who goes in the summer just because of his injuries alone. You can't. We can't rely on Diogo Jota at the moment. As much as I love Jota, can't rely on him. If I can't rely on him, then I'm gonna have to let him go. I think Darwin. There's a lot of Darwin's game that I like. You know, his pace, his athleticism, his hunger, you know, to play and to do well. I do like all that stuff. His finishing lets him down. We all can agree with that. But I think a Darwin off the bench in Arne Slot's system, and I think Arne Slot is making Darwin a little bit of a better player recently, you know, in his positioning and the way he plays. I literally think he's making him physically a better player lately. Then for me, going forward, Darwin off the bench with his pace and athleticism might be a better choice right now than Jota off the bench. And then you go and buy another striker to start. And maybe that's why we're looking at MARMOUSH a lot. I'm not sure. I don't know too much about MARMOUSH, guys. I really don't. Let me know in the chat how much you guys know about him. I think this is his first season at getting a lot of goals. Like his breakthrough year. Although he's 24. You know, look, players all age differently. They peak at different times. Some players are really good between 17 and 24, and then after 25, they drop off a cliff. Some players get better around the 25 to 33 age gap. Look at Mo Salah right now. So players all peak at different times. MARMOUSH could be peaking right now. This could be the start of MARMOUSH's career. He could go on from this season till he's 30, just banging goals. But before that, it looked a little bit dodgy. Do you know what I mean? So players all peak at different times, and maybe MARMOUSH's peak, like he's coming into his peak now, and he's going bang, bang, bang for the next few years. And Liverpool looking at him thinking, you know what? We can get him in from Frankfurt for a pretty decent price. We let Jota go. We'll get a few bob for Jota. Nice bit of money for Jota. We're going to get MARMOUSH. We've got MARMOUSH and Darwin as our main number 9s. We've got Cherki and Salah, Diaz and Gakpo. You know, we've got Harvey and Curtis in the 10. Maybe they're looking at, maybe Slot's looking at that. Maybe that's what he's thinking he can move round now. Or he's probably thinking, I've got Cherki in the 10. I've got MARMOUSH in the 9, Salah on the right, Diaz on the left. I've got Chiesa on the bench, Gakpo on the bench, Darwin on the bench. Maybe he's thinking, yeah, maybe they're thinking like that. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's why I'm so skeptical about, you know, all these transfers we're getting linked to right now. Big up Super Chats. Big up Rishi says, I agree. No, Liverpool don't spend money. Yeah, this is true. Jota will go because we'll get more money. Or I don't know. I think we'll get more money if we sold Darwin Núñez to Jota, to be fair. But I think Jota's the right one to go. See, that's why I am convinced that we will get a midfielder. Yeah, I think we'll get a midfielder. I think, right, let me know if you guys agree with me here. So, if you take the Jurgen Klopp years, yeah. By the way, when I talk about Jurgen Klopp, I'm not bashing the guy, yeah. I'm talking about a scenario. So when we're talking about Jurgen Klopp and the midfielders he had, I believe Jurgen Klopp could get any midfielder and mould him into the way that he wanted his midfield to play. So he can get an Oxlade-Chamberlain and get a Keita, he can get a Henderson, he can get a Gini Wijnaldum, he can get a Milner, and he can mould them into like an midfield engine where they rush, They play back. They play box to box. They're that engine in midfield. Look, he got Wataru Endo last season and made Wataru Endo a machine last season for quite a bit. Yeah, he could get a midfielder and mould them into the way he wants them to play. Yeah, look, Genie, as LNK says there, Genie's a prime example. Genie was an attacking midfielder. Yeah, he took Genie and went, "You're not doing that anymore. You're going to be like this 6/8 for me, box to box, holding up the possession, keeping the ball, keeping it simple, you know, and if we need goals, we'll push you further forward if needed, you know, and retaining possession." They can mould players to do that. That was a genius of him. So for Klopp, he didn't really need to buy extra midfielders, if that makes sense. It's only today, it's only now growing up that I realise this, yeah? That's why Klopp kept saying what he always said about his midfield. Because the midfield he's got, he didn't really need to go into the market too much to get particular midfielders, because he could mould midfielders to do his job. He didn't need to spend fortunes on a lot of them. He wanted certain players like Tchouaméni and all that, but if you look at the way Tchouaméni plays, he's a perfect Jurgen Klopp midfielder, you know, in that mould. But the difference with Arne Slot is Arne Slot wants technical footballers. Arne Slot wants technical footballers in midfield. So to get technical midfielders, you have to buy a different kind of player, which is why I think Liverpool will buy more midfielders in the time of Arne Slot's management than we did in Jurgen Klopp's management, because the different type of midfielder that Arne Slot needs to suit his system. That's why we went after Zubimendi, guys. Why do you think we went after Zubimendi? Because Zubimendi's not a destroyer. He's not a runner. He's not an engine type of midfielder. He's a technical midfielder who can play 1-2 passes, can keep the ball, can control the tempo, can control the midfield. That's what he's looking at. So you have to buy a particular player, you know, and obviously Slot didn't get his man because Richard Hughes fucked it up, as we all know, right? But Slot should have got his man. That should be in the team right now. So in my opinion, going forward, Liverpool will have to buy more technical midfielders to suit Arne Slot's game, which I believe why we will be looking at midfielders. Like, we're looking at Rayan Cherki, guys. You can't get more techie. You know what I'm saying? Look at Rayan Cherki. I don't think we would have bought Rayan Cherki in the Jurgen Klopp years if Jurgen Klopp was still manager. But we're looking at Rayan Cherki because of his technical prowess. You know, he wants that technical athlete, yeah? That's what he's after. And look at Rayan Cherki, and that's why we're, you know, maybe that's why we're looking at him. You know, Zubimendi, your Cherkis, your Gravenberches. It sort of makes sense. So you need technical athletes to play the slot game. You do need technical athletes to play the slot game. So, yeah, maybe that's why he's looking at particular. And I think that is why we will buy midfielders to going forward. Klopp wanted to change to a technical midfield, hence the signings last season. Yeah, but he didn't, though, did he? That's the problem. He didn't turn into a technical midfield. He made McAllister a DM, and he made Szoboszlai the Henderson role, box to box. It didn't suit either of them. I didn't see, look, I'm not going to slag him off, but I didn't see no proof of Klopp turning our midfield into a technical midfield. And when he bought our most technical midfielder we ever bought under Jurgen Klopp was Thiago. He made Thiago a box-to-box midfielder. Do you know how mad that is? He made him a workhorse. When Thiago, in his whole career, has never run. At Barcelona, he just sat there in a double pivot. At Bayern Munich, he sat there in a double pivot. Came to Liverpool, right, you're a box-to-box midfielder now. You have to run. It's just and that's what it did on Jurgen. It's the way he played. That's Jurgen's system. It's Jurgen's way he plays. And by the way he plays is extremely successful and extremely good. Yeah, so it's not a diss. I'm just saying that's the way he played. Do you reckon Thiago would be running in an Arne Slot system? Exactly, Tone. Do you reckon it'd be like? Do you reckon in an Arne Slot system? I'll tell you what. If Thiago was around with Arne Slot right now, it would. Wow. And it's just different managers doing different things, guys. It's not saying that manager's bad. It's not saying that manager's better or anything like that. You know, it's just the fact that all managers have a different way of playing. They see players that can do different jobs to other managers who come in. Look at Gravenberch, for instance, yeah? Klopp tried to make Gravenberch sort of a box-to-box player. He never once played him in the DM position. He always played him outside left or outside right, box-to-box, trying to attack, get involved. And Slot sees him completely differently. Slot sees him more of a defensive midfielder that can sit back, ball carrying, good at interceptions, got good, good defensive work. But it's the same player. Two managers just seeing totally different player, and picking up different ways that he can play. Again, it doesn't mean that manager's right or that manager's right. It's just managers seeing different things. It's like us when we watch football. I am sure me, Tony, Alex, LNK, Ali, Russell, Bafania, all of us guys in the chat right now would look at football differently and would do that with that player and do that with that player. Doesn't mean everyone's right or wrong. Football is subjective. There's no right or wrong. It's just looking at different things. And when we come to talk about Jurgen Klopp, about stuff, it's like you just can't do it because people think you're dismissing what he won for our football club, what he did for our football club, the greatness he gave our football club. No, I always say it. He's the best manager that's ever been at Liverpool in the Premier League years, and I love the guy. But he had weaknesses in his game. No one's perfect. But when you bring up the weaknesses, everyone thinks you're slagging him off. And that's why I can't have football debate with people anymore. It's so hard to have football debate with people anymore because they just believe one man is perfect and there was nothing wrong to his game. Or if you look at it, you go, right, he was doing this wrong and he's doing that wrong. And people will go, well, it's because FSG didn't allow him to do this, this and that. And it's like, it can't always be the case. It just can't. Not every manager is perfect. Stop putting someone on a pedestal and saying that, but that geezer's perfect. There was nothing wrong with him. Everything he did was perfection. Everyone below him stopped him doing what he should have done. It's bollocks. Just bollocks. And that's why I can't have football debate with people no more. People get too fucking upset, man. But Richie says, oh, I'd love to see Thiago right now. Yeah, Thiago, this double pivot would be, it's different. Absolute difference. Yeah, difference in philosophies. Exactly. But look, I can have football debate with you guys because you guys are all intelligent people. Do you know what I mean? We can have good debate. But there's some people out there, man, you can't just have football debate no more. They just hunker down in their opinions like that. I won't listen to anything. I can't say that against Clark. Yeah, it's just bollocks. Big up my man, NNK. Big up to you, man. Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with saying that, Ali. There's nothing wrong with saying that. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. The man was here 9 years. He gave us some of the greatest times we'll always remember. I've got kids. When my kids eventually have kids and I'm a granddad, I will tell my grandchildren about the great times of Jurgen Klopp. Yeah? That doesn't mean at the end it got a bit stale. Do you know what I mean? It happens. It happens. Shit happens, man. That's it. You tickle that like button, guys. Go and smash it up, man. Go and smash it up. Beyond because a man did nothing wrong, done nothing. Big up my man Nicholas, man. Yeah, look. I'm not going to go into the Klopp stuff. I know there's a lot of things that are going online at the moment, especially if you look at Twitter. I know Twitter can be a hell pit sometimes. I do kind of like Twitter at times, but Twitter can be a cesspit. There's no doubt about it. And at the moment, Paul Joyce is coming out with his stuff about Jurgen Klopp saying, no, we did this and that, and the people at the club didn't want this and that to happen, and he got too much power and stuff like that. And we can all, like, it's all coming out now, but it's stuff we knew about anyway, yeah? Now, why is it coming out 2 years later after Klopp's left? Or a year later, sorry, after Klopp's left? That's another issue. Who's leaking these stories? I personally don't think anyone's leaking these stories. You know, I've seen people go, Michael Edwards is just talking to Paul Joyce every week and just telling him the little things he knows. The problem is Michael Edwards weren't here last year, so he wouldn't know any of it. Neither was Richard Hughes, so he wouldn't know any of it. I think personally, Paul Joyce, the way I look at it, I don't think Paul Joyce liked Jurgen Klopp that much. And now Jurgen Klopp's not here, Paul Joyce is just unleashing everything he knows. So all the stories that Paul Joyce has known for all this time, I think he's just getting it off his chest now. And he personally didn't like Jurgen Klopp that much. That's my opinion on it. I don't think anyone's giving Paul Joyce these little bits of information here, there, and everywhere. I just think Paul Joyce didn't like Jurgen that much. And I know everyone on Twitter is, you know, I know everyone on Twitter is going like, oh, you can't say that about Jurgen. You can't destroy Jurgen's legacy, blah, 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 blah. But these same people don't care when these journalists come out about anyone else to do with Liverpool, right? And it's like fair game. But you can't go, you know, I don't give a shit personally. I believe there's always two sides to a story. It's just not one side. There's always two sides. And I also don't believe that anyone's perfect. Do I believe that Klopp got a bit power hungry towards the end of his Liverpool career? Yes, I do. I think it's blatantly obvious. I don't need Paul Joyce to tell me that. I was telling everyone this 12 months ago when everyone came at me and criticised me. And I said it 12 months ago before he left, that he was getting power hungry. Your manager should not pick his sporting director. Your sporting director at your club should last longer than your manager. So you should not be, your manager should not pick your sporting director. Do you know what I mean? It's just stupid. And that's to do with the club as well. The owners shouldn't have gave Jurgen that power either. So I look at both sides. I always look at both sides. Because I look at both sides and I tell the, and I sit right in the middle, everyone thinks I just hate Jurgen Klopp. It just does my head in. Just because I'm giving you some facts. It's always two sides to a story, man. Always two sides to a story. And I mean, in case, yeah, the anti stuff is petty, made me sick, but it's petty, love. It is petty. But the problem is, I'm sure there was more wingers that Jurgen Klopp was talking about than Anthony from Ajax that year. Now, the fact that Klopp didn't think Salah was going to sign a new contract, and by the sounds of it, Klopp wanted him gone, and it was actually Mike Gordon who got Salah to sign a new contract. I mean, I don't like FSG, yeah? I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm an FSG fanboy. I'm not. But the fact that it was Mike Gordon that got Salah to sign a new contract and it weren't Jurgen Klopp, that's a story. And that should be spoke about. It should be, in my opinion. It should be. But I just don't think Paul Joyce, you know, I just don't think Paul Joyce liked Jurgen Klopp, and he's just unleashing now. Linda's influence got stronger. The Trent inverted, for instance, even though you could drive a bus down there, right? Yeah. And again, Tony, that's still on the manager as well, because he's the manager at the end of the day. He could have told Pep Linders at any time, right? All right, Pep, I gave you a chance. We went your way. I personally don't think it's working. And I'm the manager of this football club. All this falls on me. I could get sacked tomorrow, Pep, and you could stay here. So this comes on me. I'm going to drop this now. We're going to go back to the way I want to play. We're going back to heavy metal football. I don't care. We're just going that way. It's the way I want to play. It's the way the players want to play. This is not working for me. You know what I mean? So as much as Pep Linders gets the blame for it, I personally think Klopp got away with it. That everyone came for Pep Linders, everyone, because we know it was a Pep Linders idea. And do you know the way we know it was a Pep Linders idea? Because Jurgen Klopp told us. Jurgen Klopp said, this is Pep's way of playing. Pep told me it would work. So we went with it. So for me, Pep Linders got all the hate, rightfully so, because he's shit. But Klopp got away with it. And I think that they should both get it for me. They should both get it in the neck. You know? You know, they both should get it in the neck. But yeah, as I keep saying, I think Paul Joyce is not a big fan of Jurgen Klopp. And he's pretty much, he's pretty much just telling us things we already know. But a lot of people just don't want to admit it to themselves. But look, again, I will say on record, for anyone comes at me that's a Jurgen Klopp hater, I'm not. He gave me the greatest times as a Liverpool fan in my lifetime. I will always be grateful to him. He's one of the greats to ever manage our football club, and I love him dearly. But at the end of his career at Liverpool, it just got a bit rotten and everything was going a bit wrong, and it's probably time for him to go. Yeah, he left on his own terms, like a man, left on his own terms, and left our football club after 9 lovely years. Nothing wrong with that, guys. He can't be here for life. You know, he's going to move on eventually. Eventually things, you know, you've got to go uphill, but one day you do have to go downhill, guys. You know, and that happens, right, in life. We can all be great. We're climbing that massive hill. We always climb that hill, and eventually that's got to turn into a downhill, and that's when things go a bit wrong. Go for everyone in life. Go to me, everyone in the chat, Jurgen Klopp. I'll go for Arne Slot as well. You know, don't mean he's a bad manager. It will go for him eventually. It goes for Pep Guardiola eventually. It'll go for everyone eventually. Yeah, doesn't mean they're shit at the end of the day. Just means no one's perfect, guys. Don't look at anyone as the perfect person, because the perfect person does not exist. Everyone has faults, and everyone has wrongs, and so does managers. So look here like that, guys. Look here like that. Yeah, you see, it's like he's doing much better for himself now. He did the right thing. Jurgen did the right thing. Jurgen did the right thing. Fuck me, if Jurgen stayed at Liverpool now, I fucking might be in hospital, for goodness sake. You know what I mean? Jurgen did the right thing for his health as well. He did the right thing for his health, and he's looking after himself now. And I hope he has a great life. Klopp is a legend, but this is he is perfect and did no stuff wrong. I'm not with. He had faults. Yeah, he's human, but some fans don't want to hear any criticism of Klopp, which is mad to me. Yeah, and that's all I've ever said. Literally, that's all I ever said, man. That's all I ever said. Look, do you know my favourite footballing time under Jurgen Klopp? I think we played the best football the year we won the Champions League. The year we won the Champions League and finished on 97 points in the Premier League, I think that is the best time, the best football we have ever played in the Premier League that year. That was amazing. In fact, we should have won the double. We should have won the double that year. We should have won the double that year. We went on, I think that was the year when the ball was 99.7% over the line, weren't it? When it like 3 millimeters from not going over the line against Man City, and you win that and you win the league. We almost played perfect football. Could have won a league and cup double, man. Big up Baz in the chat. So yeah, that was my favourite time as a Liverpool fan, man. And then we went on win the Premier League. When we went on win the Premier League, we just carried on with our momentum. Our momentum from the Champions League to 97 points just carried on, and Man City's momentum dropped. And because Man City's momentum dropped, Liverpool's momentum stayed the same. They just completely rushed the league, completely destroyed it. But the football in that year was just beautiful, and I will never forget it. The greatest time of my life as a Liverpool fan, and that's thanks to Jurgen Klopp. Big up Sean with the super chat. He says we have the same with Arteta. Any signs that don't work is Edu signing, and the ones that work are Arteta, genius signing. Exactly. I think that's every club, to be fair. But yeah, it's going that way, and it is going that way, which is sad. Big up my man Colin as well, who's been a member for time now. Big up my man Colin as well, helping out the channel grow, man. Helping out the channel grow. I appreciate your love, man. Appreciate the love. Yeah, Rafa Football in 09 was good. Only losing 2 games the whole season. We've had some good times, man. We've had some good times. The Premier League wins their case. Do you want the title stripped? No. I don't think I do, you know. I don't think you do. Mentally, I will know we won them titles. You know, that's enough for me. It's enough for me as a fan to go, we were right. Do you know what I mean? I don't physically need them being stripped and going back in time and handing out medals and trophies to teams 8 years later. Do you know what I mean? But mentally, I will know, and that I'm fine with that. I'll be happy with that. To be absolutely fair to you, my friend. Big up Nelson. Big up my man Nelson. Big up to everyone in chat. It's been a great little show. We had fun. I basically spoke about, you know, the shirt, why we might be buying Cherki, why we might be looking at MARMOUSH. They also might be complete bullshit transfer rumours that might never happen. We don't know. It's a wonderful world of transfer rumours brought to you by Jamie Phillips. What can I say? And I gave you an insight of the knowledge that I don't have. But what I look for in transfers and players and stuff like that, and why I don't get behind the PR machine for certain footballers. But yeah, big out to everyone. You guys have been great. I appreciate you all. You know that. Guys, tonight at 10 p.m, I will be back on my Big Up channel. We have got a Liverpool tactical breakdown at 10 p.m. tonight on my Big Up channel. Now, I know a lot of you are subscribed to my Big Up already, and a lot of you are subscribed to Coppish on Big Up, or Drifty on Big Up, or Matt on Big Up, or you watch Never a Foul on Big Up. You know, you guys have been watching over there. So at 10 p.m. tonight on my Big Up channel, we're doing a tactical Liverpool breakdown, and I am joined by the whole Coppish team. So Matt will be there, Cal will be there, and Drifty will be there. So it's a Jamie Phillips and Coppish combo coming together at 10 p.m. tonight on my Big Up channel. So if you've not gone over there before, please go over there now. Subscribe to my Big Up channel. I'd appreciate it. Hopefully it'll come on in a minute. I don't know what my internet's doing. Here we go. So there's my Big Up channel there, guys. If you go on to bigup.com, right there, guys, as you see. If you go on bigup.com, go on to the homepage, you'll see a load of people on there, a load of content creators. If you just go and find Jamie Phillips Football Chats, there you've got Drifty, Team Coppish, Matt, Grizz, and Jamie Phillips Football Chats. The same as my YouTube channel. You'll find my Big Up channel there. Tonight, 10 p.m, me and the Coppish boys are doing a Liverpool tactical breakdown. So hopefully I can see you all there, man. Hopefully I can see you all there at 10 p.m. tonight. Hopefully I can see you all there tonight. It's going to be good, man. We're going to have a little breakdown of everything that's happening. We're going to go through all the tactics, what, you know, the tactical breakdown of what the way we play this season. We're going to pick out players that we, you know, we're going to look at players that we got. What I'm going to do, I'm going to ask the boys as well tonight for their player of the year for Liverpool so far, their most improved player for Liverpool so far this season. We're going to talk about the way what Slot's doing tactically that's different to maybe what Klopp did last year as well. So it's going to be a good show, man. Me and the Coppish boys, 10 p.m, my Big Up channel. Keep it real. Put the link in the chat. So yeah, hit the link and come and join me, guys. I'm trying to get to 250 members. on 186 at the moment. If I can get to 250 members, that'd be beautiful. So, yeah, get over there and subscribe, man. I appreciate you. Thank you very much, guys. And if you are there tonight, 10 p.m., I'll see you at 10 p.m. tonight on my Big Up channel. Thank you very much, guys. See you tonight. Bye-bye for now. Appreciate you all.